CFR Cluj are one of the biggest teams in recent history in Romania, but that is not the Cluj that we're going to start off today's video with. We're going to start with their local rivals, U Cluj. I know they've got a full name, but they're called U Cluj for most of this game, so that's what we're going to stick with. Throughout the course of a 5-season simulation, they have not been massively productive when it comes to bringing in some youth players, but they do get a quite a decent amount of players with 120 potential or higher, so let's take a look. A total of 6 players came through their youth intakes with 120 potential or higher. Ionut Belu, I'm not sure whether that's how it's pronounced at all, but Ionut Belu is one of the slightly better ones with 127 potential, already has 117 current ability, and at 19 years of age, you can probably see why. Playing fairly recently as well, I'd say recently, consistently for the first team, 41 appearances, 2 goals as well to his name. Mentally, looks pretty good, physically looks pretty good, technically actually doesn't look terrible, does he? He's got numbers in the right places, so don't let potential ability kind of put you off, because actually you don't want a left winger who's really good at long throws and marking. You might waste some points there. They do also have Claudiu Berci, who's a 20-year-old Romanian central midfielder with 27 first team appearances and 105 second team appearances and 20 goals as well to his name. He does have 134 potential ability. He's wanted, but I think that's out on loan. It is Gloria Bazeu, want him on loan apparently. He actually doesn't look particularly good, does he? Technically, lots of 7s, 8s and 9s in there. Mentally and physically, he's okay, but obviously we know he's got a fair bit of potential. He is 20 though. Maybe he's a late bloomer. And top of the pile for you, Cluj, is Bogdan Sirbu, who has 139 potential ability. He's actually got about 104 current ability as well at 19 years of age, 6'1" centre-back. Physically looks pretty good, mentally looks pretty good, technically doesn't look very good at all, but at 19 years of age, he's still got a bit of room to grow. Also, 33 appearances for the first team, 76 for the second team as well, and some under-19 caps for Romania. Farul Constanța are next up, and they, in real life, have just won the league for the first time ever. And also, I did this by basically looking through Wikipedia, and they've got some crazy owners. Just going to kind of show you there. So they're owned by Georgi Hagi and Cyprian Marcia, who are, I believe, both of them are former Romanian international footballers. Obviously, Georgi Hagi, I think everyone knows, is. They've also got Rivaldo as a director. Yes, the Brazilian Rivaldo, the good one. I don't know how or why, but there you go. Anyway, Farul Constanța have managed to produce some very good young players in this 5-year simulation, so let's go take a look. So using 120 potential as our bar of entry for this list for Romania, Farul Constanța have managed to produce 15 players in total, and we're going to kick things off with Alexandru, which, by the way, is a cracking name. At 97 current ability, but 124 potential, there is obviously a bit of room to grow here. Mentally, he actually looks really good for a right-back. Maybe the technical attributes aren't necessarily in place, but physically and mentally, he looks good, and if he can use the remaining sort of potential experience points and ability points that he has left over into getting those technical numbers up, he could turn into a pretty decent player. We've also got, at the age of just 15 years of age, Denis Gramini, a 15-year-old Romanian centre-back, left-back and central midfielder. He's a centre-back, he's 6'2" and got 14 tackling, although he does have 12 passing, so he's a ball-playing defender at the very least. 90 current ability and 129 potential, so he would just miss my mark of 130 as the kind of the bar of entry to be a decent Premier League player if he hits it, although if he hits 129, he'll still be pretty good. We've also got a goalkeeper in the shape of Daniel Danane. I assume that's how it's pronounced, and if not, that's what we're going with anyway. He looks very good at 20 years of age. He's got about 90 current ability, 133 potential in Danane. I think I'd be playing him. If I was the Farul Constanța manager, I'd be playing him now. But it's not only players with 120 to 130 potential ability that Farul Constanța have managed to produce. They've got Matei Drejan, who is another goalkeeper, but he has 148 potential ability, which maybe you don't play Danane, you play Drejan instead. He is wanted, but I imagine it is on loan. It is Gloria Bazeu, want this guy on loan. I mean, he doesn't look particularly anything special at the moment, but he's only 19 years of age. He's 6'2", and we know there's potential there, and you can kind of tell as well from the value. And he's not even the best player to come out the Farul Constanța youth intakes, and that is Cosmin Perlog with 152 potential ability. The striker looks good, doesn't he? He can't finish, but that might not necessarily be a problem. He's got 15 first touch, 15 heading. He's got pretty decent physicals, pretty decent mental attributes as well. He can pass, he's got technique. Is he a striker? I guess he's a striker, and he might be winning some like goals from corners as well here. Perlog is going to be very good. He's already got an under-21s cap for Romania as well, but he has torn his knee ligaments, which could be a problem. FC Voluntari start the save in the top division of Romanian football, but in this save they have actually been relegated down to the second league, and that was in the, I think, the second season they got relegated, but they have still been producing some pretty decent young players. 8 players have come through with 120 or higher potential, including Ovidiu Popovici, Ovidiu Popovici, who is a left back, centre back, left midfielder, left winger, whatever position you want to play him in, he can probably play there. You could arguably retrain him to be a central midfielder. He's got 126 potential ability, but he's already getting games for the first team, 37 games, and a goal to his name. I assume from left back, or maybe possibly going up for a corner, although he can't header, he's got 7. They've also got Andre Valesu, who is actually their club captain, because I assume that 17 leadership goes a very long way when you're in the second division of Romanian football. 19 years of age, he's a right back. I think by trade, he's probably more of a central midfielder, sort of defensive midfielder role. Mentally, his numbers are off the charts. Physically and technically, not the best, but he does have some potential. And with his current ability being just over 100 and his potential being 135, he's going to hopefully get a bit better in a few seasons' time. They have also managed to bring in Alexandru Dragos with 136 potential ability. He is an absolute speed demon with 16 acceleration. Pace isn't actually that high at 13, but he's going to get there very, very quick. Agile as well, loads of balance. Mentally not awful. 15 teamwork, determination as well at 13. He's a good dribbler of the ball on that left wing. Once again, playing a lot for this team, probably in the second division for the most part. 36 games, 4 goals to his name, and an under-21 cap for Romania. And not only have they got a left winger, they've got a right winger as well in the shape of Cristo Banita, who has got 139 potential ability. Physically and mentally looks pretty good, although mentally some numbers are questionably low. For example, determination of 5, positioning of 3, concentration of 2. This guy might need to, I don't know how you can you even raise concentration in Football Manager? I mean, he's got the potential there, but honestly, all of his numbers are in his acceleration. They're all in physical, aren't they? There's nothing really of use when it comes to an actual footballer there. But he has played 24 times for the first team, scoring 3 goals. So maybe I'm wrong. Next up, we have CS Concordia China? Is that how you pronounce it? That's how I'm going to pronounce it. We're going to call them Concordia anyway. And they are actually in the second division of Romanian football. They've stayed there for the entirety of this save. They've produced 6 players with 120 potential or above. Actually, they've produced 6 players with 119 potential or above. Kicking off with Cosmin Iliucic, who has moved on to Craiova, and he does have 119 potential ability. He's one of 3 players with 119 potential ability. He looks very good. If I was scouting players and I came across this team and I found this guy, I would buy him. I can see why Craiova have gone for it. 64 appearances for them, 11 goals to his name, 3 caps for the under-21s as well for Romania. He looks good, but I wonder whether everything's just kind of focusing in on that finishing there. And maybe physically he's not necessarily all there. Mentally doesn't look awful, but he doesn't look particularly amazing either. We've also got this man, not going to try and pronounce that name, apologies if that is your surname, anybody, with 119 potential as well. He also looks pretty good. Left winger, central midfielder. I'd probably play him as a central midfielder, maybe even retrain him to be a left back. Is that just me seeing that 11 tackling? Maybe left back is better positioning for him. He's not awful really, 119 potential, like I said. He's going to get better. He's not going to get world class by any means. One thing I have noticed with Romanian football is very good central defenders and defensive players come through quite a lot. We've got Irna Mihai is next up with 127 potential ability. He's got some really low numbers, but also some pretty decent numbers as well when it comes to the things you really care about from a defender. He's certainly not a ball-playing defender. He's arguably not just a normal central defender. He's a no-nonsense guy, isn't he? 14 tackling, and that's all you want him to do. Just tackle. Just tackle and kick the ball really hard far away. With 129 potential ability, we have Christian Usarelu, who has moved on to CFR Cluj. Quite a lot of players from the sort of the League 2 of second division and third division sides end up moving up to teams like Cluj and not really getting game time. Usarela, definitely not his name, has obviously moved to Cluj and he's playing some football there as well. Central defender by trade, actually looks very, very good, doesn't he? And finally, with 133 potential ability, we have Murcia, Prodan, left winger, right winger, moved over to FCSB as well. 26 appearances for them, 44 for China. Concordia is what they're called, isn't it? And then a goal for each team as well. He's actually moved over £400,000, potentially going up to 500. No caps for Romania yet, but I feel like he's not far away. He does have, obviously, playing for FCSB makes him more likely to get into the Romania side as well, which is just the harsh reality of football, isn't it? And we are going to finish off with the lowest ranked team on this list, and that is Politehnica Timisoara. Might be what they're called, I don't quite know, but they are down in the 3rd division of Romanian football, and they kind of have stayed there. They have just been relegated again, so been promoted and then got relegated almost straight away, but they have actually managed to produce some pretty decent footballers. Remember, they are the 3rd tier of Romanian football, so we're not going to see players who have got 170 potential, but we've got a few with 120 or above. 6 players in total, in fact, and we're going to fly through every single one of them because there's only 6. Paul Illy is the first one up, 121 potential on this goalkeeper. He will be playing first team football for them, I assume, because he's actually not awful. With 123 potential, we have Roberto Parashiv, which is a great name. I love that name. He's made 1 appearance for the first team, so I don't know why he hasn't been playing for them, but he's just made that 1 appearance. Mentally looks very good. Physically looks pretty good. Technically, he's not very good in very specific things like dribbling, finishing, free kick taking, penalty taking, and technique, but he can mark and tackle, kinda. Romario Krishan is next up, 18 years old winger, playing for CFR Cluj now because he has moved on from Timisoara. I'm going to get that name wrong every single time. He has got 126 potential ability, which is why Cluj have taken a risk. They're probably not going to play him, but he might go out on loan somewhere. Adrian Milea is next up, and he looks like the finished article. He's already got 2 caps for Romania, 3 under-21 caps as well, playing for FCSB as well, and that is because he has 126 potential ability, but here, current ability is 125, so he's literally already there at the age of 19 years old. And he is currently wanted. Does somebody good want him? Porto want him. Millet is going to go places, and they don't realise that he's basically hit his ability. This is as good as he's ever going to get, really. Next up, we have Andrei Pashka, who has got 135 potential ability. Striker, arguably more of an attacking midfielder, if you ask me. 34 appearances for the first team and a goal to his name. He's wanted by Cluj, Rapid, and Farrell Costanza, so he's probably going to be on his way very soon. And finally, at the top of the list with 137 potential ability is Romario Teric, a centre-back, left-back, right-back. He's 5'9". He's not a centre-back. I'd arguably play him as a right-back. He's very quick. I say very quick. He looked quite quick. He's got decent numbers mentally, technically actually isn't awful as well. 29 appearances for the first team, 0 goals to his name, but he is a centre-back who's 5'9", so maybe he shouldn't be going up for corners. Maybe Romania is not the nation for you. Maybe you want to go to somewhere possibly like Italy. Is that where you want to be signing players from? Well, we've got 5 clubs in this video where you want to take a look to see if you can get some of the best players, and they're not the obvious clubs in the world either.